At the end of the first term, many students were furious at an X on their report card. Of course, they didn't fully grasp the rules about attendance. Most students have to now wait until next term to recover their grades.
An attendance failure is when a student exceeds the number of allowable unexcused absences in a quarter. So if a student is absent 4 or more unexcused times within a quarter, they become an attendance failure for that class in that quarter. An excused absence is either when you come in with a note from a doctor, a medical appointment, a legal appointment, a court appointment, any of those reasons, as long as they're kind of documented and brought in. This all began back in the old building through the school council. There had been a concern about the number of absences that our students had. Then all of the folks in the school council went out and they kind of reached out to other surrounding communities, reached out to other handbooks, and found that many people had an attendance failure policy, which is similar to what we have in place. We asked that all students within 3 days of returning to school bring in their doctor's or whatever note it is that they have. So if you exceed 4 or more unexcused absences, regardless of whether you're passing the class, your grade gets dropped down to a 64% and you receive an X on your report card. That means that at the end of the quarter, when the new quarter begins, you can earn back your grade by not becoming an attendance failure for a second quarter.
Many students question the validity of the attendance policy.
So I personally do believe that I deserved the X because of the policy, but I do not agree with the policy just because I personally went for my cousin's wedding and family is important to me. Personally, I believe I'm a good student because I keep my grades up. I do everything I'm supposed to.
Well, there's a couple of circumstances that the school may not have considered while making these rules. If you were a senior or late junior, you really can't turn in a college application if there's an attendance failure X on it. You would have to wait until next term, assuming you can recover. If you are a senior, however, you don't have time to wait. You need to apply to colleges now, and your credibility significantly goes down if they see that X on your report card. For all of you watching, I recommend you are very careful about attendance for this reason.
I do believe that the school has neglected some possibilities with medical issues with certain kids. A lot of kids have a lot of different problems, and the school goes personally into that. They don't ask the students why they've been absent. There's a lot of people that have been absent due to some medical stuff that they don't really tell the school.
The school requires students to have a doctor's note to excuse absences, but sometimes obtaining them can be difficult. Students without insurance can suffer financially from visiting the doctor's office. With insurance, the cost for each doctor's visit is $25, and without insurance, the costs range from $150 to $200. This can be too much for families who are not financially stable or struggling to make ends meet. On the other hand, some students' doctor's offices may be too far from their home, and parents may see it as an inconvenience if their child can be treated at home. In this instance, parents would be going to the doctor's office to hear about possible remedies to make their child feel better that they already know of while racking up medical bills. The only issue now is they don't have that note, and there's a good chance their child could have an X on their report card if they spend more than 4 days out. With all of this said, there are two sides to any school policy, so hopefully it can only improve over time. This is Matthew Messina, back to you in the studio.